The key in the lock turned with its familiar jingle, one that, for the first time, scraped against my nerves. Amelia Walt let out a laugh, a melody that rang out of place, jarringly off-key, against the tension that coiled in my stomach. 6 months had passed, 6 months of subtle changes, long nights at the office, and quiet phone calls taken in another room. 6 months of my heart slowly splintering, piece by piece, irreparable and fragile. She froze in the doorway, her laughter evaporating in an instant, her eyes, those sparkling eyes I once adored, now wide with horror. Her hand flew to her mouth, a silent gasp escaping her lips. It was the reaction I'd been anticipating, the climax of the careful plan I had constructed. On the bed, laid out with such precision that a museum curator would be envious, with the artifacts of her betrayal emails and texts, framed and displayed like macabre artwork. But that wasn't all. No, I had gone further. There, too, was the silk scarf she had claimed to have lost, the one I found tucked inside the glove compartment of Cameron's car. Cameron, her supposed colleague. A receipt for a romantic getaway to a secluded cabin a weekend she said she spent tending to her sick mother. And then, the pièce de résistance, a blown-up photograph of them, captured in a stolen embrace outside a downtown restaurant. Their faces blurred by the night, but the intimacy between them was undeniable. A gut punch, frozen in a single frame. Amelia staggered backward, her face draining of color. "John, I can explain." Her words were hollow, suffocating in their attempt to find meaning. Explain what? My voice was unnervingly calm, contrasting sharply with the storm raging inside me. Explain how you looked me in the eyes every morning and lied. Explain how you tore apart our marriage, piece by piece. She opened her mouth, but no sound emerged, her eyes desperate and panicked, like a cornered animal seeking escape. This was the moment I dreamed about, the moment when the tables turned. When the deceiver became the deceived. Where is he? My voice hardened, the calm breaking. Where's Cameron? She shook her head, tears spilling freely now. He's at work. A bitter laugh escaped me. Work? Huh. Funny, because I just spoke to his wife. Apparently, he called in sick today. Funny how that all lines up, isn't it? Amelia's eyes widened in shock. She hadn't known about his wife. I hadn't planned to involve her, but when I discovered Cameron was married, it felt like the perfect opportunity for revenge. Misery, as they say, loves company. I pulled out my phone, dialing a number. "Cameron," I said when he answered, my tone ice cold. "I think you need to come home. There's something I need to show you." The hour that followed was a blur of emotions. Cameron swaggered in, his cocky grin fading when he saw the scene before him, the bed, the evidence, and the woman standing beside it, a shell of who she once was. Amelia arrived moments later, her face drained, eyes stormy with guilt and panic. What followed was anything but civilized. Accusations, tears, lies, they all crumbled like the fragile walls they had built, the truth unraveling with devastating clarity. The aftermath was silence, a thick, suffocating silence that hung in the air like smoke. Amelia's eyes met mine, pleading. "John, please." But the John she once knew, the man who had loved her unconditionally, was gone. That man had been chipped away, piece by piece, until nothing remained but a hollow shell. "It's over, Amelia," I said, my voice emotionless. "I want you out." The divorce was ugly, a drawn-out battle fought in courtrooms and lawyers' offices. Amelia tried to paint herself as the victim, but the evidence was insurmountable. As they say, the truth will come out. Cameron and Amelia's marriage fell apart in spectacular fashion, an explosive crash that left both of them scorched. I felt no satisfaction in their suffering, only a quiet resignation. Their destruction didn't heal my heart. It didn't fix the cracks in my soul. Months turned into years. I sold the house, the site of both happiness and heartbreak, and started anew in a different city. The pain dulled, the memories faded, replaced by a gentle acceptance. I learned to live with the ghosts of the past, to find peace in the present, and to look toward the future with cautious optimism. Years later, I sat in a coffee shop, lost in a book, when I heard that laugh again. I looked up to find Amelia sitting across the room. She was older now, lines etched into her face, a sadness that clung to her smile. Our eyes met, and for a brief moment, I was transported back to that day, the artifacts of her betrayal, the wreckage of our past. She looked away quickly, her shame visible in the way her gaze flickered. I closed my book, a small smile tugging at my lips. The anger was gone, replaced by a strange, quiet peace. I had survived. I had rebuilt. And that, in the end, was the most satisfying revenge of all. I left the coffee shop, stepping into the sunlight, leaving behind the ghost of Amelia and the ruins of our past. I was finally free.